Shalom. Queen of Wands in reverse. The Eight of Wands in reverse. Judgment in reverse. And the Ace of Cups in reverse. Let's try and turn things around for you. Queen of Swords in reverse. Four of Swords in reverse. And I felt it. Three of Cups in reverse. Ace of Cups in reverse. The only upright card we have, Five of Wands. I hope you're ready for this. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to push yourself through or over something. So, in the upper realms, the reversal is the hidden god, number 4. Divine power guards against mental troubles. I think you're struggling. And then again, if you weren't, that there would be something terribly wrong with you. The great and exalted God, number 49, 49. You feel alone. Unlovable. Grandeur makes one passionate towards God, in reverse. I think you're starting to finally reconnect with Him, whereas you admit your faults, you see them, which will only lead to gratitude. You feel undeserving. I get you. Judgment is number 52. Imamaya, God hidden in darkness. Atonement of errors. Atonement. Destroys the power of enemies and humiliates them in reverse. That's not what you want. It's not what you're seeking for. I think you're making amends with the past. Some memories may come back. Now in the lower realms, we had the Shempan Forage here. We have the Goetia, or the demon so-called, here. We're not going to say the names. Queen of Swords in reverse, number 65. Teaches geometry and measurements. Increases one intelligence. Can transform a person into a bird. We were just discussing birds. Pay attention to birds in reverse. So you either dream of them or you come across them. Either a dead bird on somewhere on the side of a street. Something to do with either feathers, birds, chirping sounds. It's a forewarning to not go down the path that you're about to go down on. Teaches grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Number 66. Can make one appear like a soldier in reverse. I think you're done. There's illness here. There's illness beyond willingness to fight, willingness to see purpose, even though you see it all perfectly. It's depression. The struggle is real. It's not just mental, it's spiritual, existential if you want to. The Three of Cups in reverse. 11. Gateway 66, 11, 12, 3, 2. Reconciles friends, tells us of the past, present, and future. Gives dignities and honors. Let's see the bottom cards. The reversal here, upcoming energy, is that Ace of Cups. 54, God the King of Heaven. Rejuvenation, obtains the mercy of God and gives long life. You feel it's too late. The Five of Wands and the only upright card here is a major challenge raised to a conscience level right now is 2. So connected to this 11, the Three of Cups here. From the low realms, So we have 2, 2. Number itself is a 5. Teaches languages, causes earthquakes, overthrows politicians and clergymen, returns those who have run away. You feel powerless. Again, you feel as if you're done. You don't want to be here. No matter what blessings may be bestowed unto you at this time, you're unable to feel or want them, and you may have questioned yourself whether that's ego. Well, for once, I'm going to tell you it's not. What you're feeling is genuine. I strongly advise you to reach out. No one wants to be pitied. This is not about pity. It's about giving someone else the opportunity to raise to a level of humanity that they may otherwise not have the opportunity to become, channel, or explore. So you're giving someone else, see it that way, the opportunity to be compassionate. And why not? Yes, even merciful. But I wouldn't advise you, to allow yourself to be humiliated by anyone if they find pleasure in your current challenge or condition. So hence why the best advice is to seek for professional help. If you have the possibility to do so, of course. You may not be aware of it yet, but a tapestry full of positive outcomes and spiritual blessings now permeates your aura. The gray clouds have lifted, replaced by soft, radiant light. The past will soon be behind you. Let it go and embrace the positive times ahead. Reminder and affirmation. It is not sufficient for you to yearn or long for something more from life. Your desire or your wish needs to be specific, exact, so that it may indicate where you currently are at, where you're coming from, and where you want to go. Your affirmation is, I wish, I want, or I desire, and name your wish. Say it out loud. It's very important. Okay, reverse. It's dropping all the masks, the buffoonery. You feel as if you've played many roles. You're tired of pretending that you are okay. It didn't work. Well, it did. It got you this far. Now it's time to drop the masks, the juggling, the trying to make it work and just be. It's a meeting of opposites, an inner conflict that somehow finds harmony beyond an actual, tangible resolution. As in, you don't need a specific answer, you don't need a proof, you don't need the past nor the future, nor aspirations, nor dreams, nor reminiscing, regrets, none of them. You are now. That's all that matters. You don't have to try so hard. I think that's why you're exhausted. And you were using your intellect in hopes to achieve something. Don't beat yourself over it too much when it comes to what you may have thought to be the issue. Because you see, when we finally do embrace faith, we tend to feel guilty. A shadow will come and tell us, see, this is why it all happened. You were, coming from egoism, and you wanted things that are not of goodness, of light, or for, the highest good, and so on. You were being selfish or materialistic, or so on and so forth. Or you were coming from a wrong place of passion that consumes rather than passion that builds, expands, right? No, it's not true. What you wanted, you were absolutely entitled to it. Now, beyond the frustration, beyond the resentment, beyond the questions why, beyond the attempting to apply strategy, beyond the ultimate victory over this desire that, rather than being natural and easily fulfilled, turned into a very toxic and painful wish. Why does everybody else have it, but I can't? Because you have something else. Something that to many others would be impossible to achieve at the stage that they're at. It's compensation. It's a dropping of the masks, dropping of the circus. You need to come out of solitude. For those of you who still can, focus on birthing anything else. Anything new, anything that you perceive as innocent, or at its core, even if it's just an idea, a creative project, a plan, a goal, an aim, a wish, desire. It has to be from the heart, as pure as possible. At inception, the seed upon that you're going to plant from now on into physical reality. Whatever action you're going to undertake has to be in touch with your essence, the essence of who you are. The magician energy. The solitude, Red Riding Hood, fear, etc. False perceptions of self, attempting to attract or manifest a dream, and ending up alone, now reminiscing over Father Time, so to speak. There he is again, the buffoon. You are being shielded and protected. Don't ever forget it. Journaling may come up for some of you in order for you to be able to cope. Writing down, automatic writing. You know, many have actually written their memoirs by using mirrors. But yeah, that's digressing. It's very interesting when you think of it, right? Learn a new language as well. Comparative study is very helpful. For example, compare your native language to one that you were always somehow attracted to, or you found it beautiful. Because at one point we didn't speak with words, then we had languages, and then they scattered and drifted further apart. Now we have this artificial coming back together language-wise as well, which is a language made of, it's an artificially built one, meant to cast spells, literally. So it's demonic. It's by the definition, popular or interpretation of the term demonic, as in it's not natural, it's unnatural, it goes against, or rather, it perverts or corrupts the hearts of men, whereas it allows us to have words with double meanings and so on. So while when we look back, we tend to think the symbols were rather more even so prone to, subjective interpretation. In reality, that's not the case. You couldn't make mistakes with an interpretation when it came to reading the energy encompassed within symbols, the initial forms of writing or expression or communication, but a tangible form. But ultimately, there was something so important back in the beginning, before the fall, right, of the tower. The fact that we would communicate telepathically. So empathy, connection, and it was crucial. There was no real possibility for deception. Things were on one end, commercial-wise, exchange-wise, covenants, agreements, sentences, judgments, etc. They were tangible, they were the black or white, that's it. There was no way out of it, unless but some form of expression of divine grace, intervention or mercy, protection by an external force. But in between people, there could be no real deception. Now with language, that's all we do. We use it against one another, either to manipulate, to mesmerize, to enchant, but it doesn't mean that our most powerful form of communication is not being used against us, intentionally or otherwise, against one another as well, right? Hypnotism is a thing. You're looking into a screen, a black mirror, literally. You're easily hypnotized. So I guess what I'm trying to point out to you is take back control when it comes to content you consume. I don't care how good the person looks, how positive their vibes and energies are, how positive the content that you may be consuming repeatedly is. It's taking power from you. It literally enchants and mesmerizes you. It creates goals, expectations, idols for you to aim towards or try and become, but ultimately it ends up making you feeling worse, insufficient, never enough, not heard, lost in a sea of opinions. And on the other hand, another thing that you could do is participate, get at this other end of the screen. So at least it doesn't hold as much power over you. Why do you think we use the terms we use? World Wide Web, casting a web, right? And when you look, for example, into the terminology, science-wise, technical terms, etc., you start to find, if you know of the science of gematria, or maybe just a more Western interpretation of numerology, going back to numbers and so on, you would realize that intelligent design has been corrupted, literally virused, including the language. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't care how good something sounds, just look at the effect that it has on you, whether it impacts you or it doesn't. But the problem is, the actual impact it will have on the masses is not even revealed. It happens just in the background. It's like a psyop, literally. You can move masses into one direction or another. You can have them be hooked, literally, on whatever energy you're putting out there. And especially if the use of words, and then you involve color, sound, anything that involves all the senses, the physical senses as well. But the most important influence is the one that's happening subconsciously. Now, in order to connect to the collective unconscious, you can choose where you navigate in this collective unconscious and what you tap into. And that is humanity's genuine desire and wishes, and maybe stray away from more negative aspirations that feed into a reality that's rather more ego-based, right? Individualistic needs and pursuits. And so if you connect to that collective unconscious, you can literally feed yourself or tap into something that's assisting you. Example, it may be presented as very negative. The very thing that you're struggling with, whenever it comes over you, think of the fact that there's a brother, a sister, a child, an innocent animal, going through the same struggle you're struggling with. So anything you can alchemize, anything you can overcome, conquer, or turn into something positive, all those struggling or facing the same enemy, so to speak, at that time, challenge or limitation, is able to tap into that, because you're connected via that specific web. So that's why we have groups and specific categories and so on, right? So each of us is going to belong to a specific spiritual family. So when we tap into collective unconscious, we are being led towards that specific group of people. Spiritually speaking, we are going to be assisted by those that are a different stage or degree, that have just conquered this specific challenge. So you do have assistance, both individually and as a part of that collective of sparks, specific sparks, currently, timeline-wise, going through the same challenge, right? So you're not alone. And any of us going through this challenge that can manage to shine some light, overcome this darkness at any degree, by just saying, yes, I'm not well, but I'm going to push through. I do have hope in humanity. I do see purpose in existence. And if I see it in someone else's, then I have to see it in mine. I don't contest divine will. We go when we go, we come when we come, and so on. So, again, beyond any type of resolution or final conclusion, or you just keep going, right? You keep getting yourself involved in this realm, and good things shall come, right? And if negative things come, it must mean that you also have the ability to overcome those as well. And if it's not for yourself, then it's for those struggling with the same challenge as you are. Important revelation, the Four of Pentacles. Focus on what's very important to you. Get practical, get down to earth, grounded. Maybe reorganize your closet. Think about starting to accept, for example, that you're going to have to make some sacrifices. Changes will come naturally with that. Maybe it's your diet, maybe you need to move past defining them as either positive or negative. But if you perceive them as negative, then you need to balance them out by doing something. Example, you may have to cut down on some expenses, right? Then balance that out with making some changes and start to go out more, even if it's just for walks, and connecting more with people and doing things that you wouldn't normally do. So you're balancing things out, maybe focusing more on your diet, what you eat, what you consume. Maybe see if you can get involved locally in some projects, and if why not, maybe you have an amazing idea and you will be guided on a path where you will find kindred spirits, the right people for you to start these new projects, and so on and so forth. Gratitude is important, but I want you to also be grateful for yourself, for the things that you've managed to push through this far, up until this point, which required superhuman strength and a level of faith that you yourself may not be aware of actually having. 4-4. So stability, pillars and foundations. What are the most important and crucial things for you? Make a list, prioritize. Genuinely important. So both necessity, survival wise, right? Self-preservation, self-sustenance. Reconnect with nature, ground yourself. This is also obviously the color of what we now, in our current degree, collectively we associate with abundance or opportunities, which is the color of both grass, trees, and money, right? The frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. So you need to focus on balancing out both your mind when it comes to the content you consume, the things you read, etc. Right now you may feel as if there's some form of depersonalization going on, due to you feeling as if you are the sum, or your thoughts or your emotions are merely the sum of the things other people do, say, think, have, want. And to some extent, you're kind of right. So in order to move out of this state right now, as if you're being cancelled out due to you pursuing a sense of identity and belonging and community and connection with others. You've lost yourself in the mass of so many identities and traits. Keep in mind, most of them are not genuine. Authenticity doesn't go hand in hand with a virtual reality. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. So what does your authentic self want? But most importantly, where did you lose it along the way? There are things that you can, even while looking back, as you seem to be dragged into, you feel kind of against your own will at this point, you feel it, into the past. What happened? I could have done this, I could have achieved this, I wanted this, I used to love doing this, and so on. This is also livelihood, it's fertility, it's abundance, fertile soil to plant seeds that are, guaranteed to lead to flourish, to lead to completion, to fruition, to so on. So successful investment of one's resources. Most important resource we have is time, which is what you seem to be feeling as if you have lost or misused while doing the exact same thing. You're doing it now. Anything else that you've lived through and it was of your own choice and doing, and that's no regrets. But ever since your most of your time is spent online, well, you've sacrificed your actual existence to non-existence, literally. It's a way of coping. It's kind of, I would call it spiritual or existential, well, ending one's existence, literally, but not being brave enough, nor, at least that's how I feel your energy right now. You may feel, well, might as well just, be very careful. This path that you are going down on, it's very dangerous, because it takes one bad decision, that one moment when you just cannot do it anymore. At this point, your detachment from reality, your disconnect, it's so, because no matter how much you think you get online, you don't seem to be able to apply it, or when you do, it doesn't seem to work, and it won't. It was never intended to. It's selling you dreams. You would be better off, I don't know, choosing your content wisely in a manner that subjectively is useful to you. Watch DIY, but only if you're gonna have to paint a wall. Otherwise, why would you even seek out for that information? Why would you care how many ways of applying eyelashes there are out there? But you see, this disconnect now happened to such an extent, whereas most of the time is there, and whatever is left, it's unbearable to you in physical reality, no matter how good it may be. You may be in a golden cage, and no matter what anyone would try to give to you, you are kind of left stuck in that realm of potential. So it worked. So if you're not careful, you will not even attempt anymore to live your life, to explore your passions, to just be you. Conception. For some of you, is literally the birth of a child, adoption, or getting involved with children. It's a healing of the inner child, right? Whereas you would enjoy just playing in the dirt. The frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of the space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. That child in the womb, the magician, only then you can finally rediscover how skillful you truly are, how much you enjoy being here, how much you love creating and exploring it. So, I guess you can make a resolution for yourself, and take your power back. And on this note, let's see. Help and healing. Bottom of the deck. Wow. And you see the birds? The reversal too. The upheaval in reverse. I feel you are protected. You are going to be prevented from doing something extremely foolish. Thank goodness. Baruch Hashem. Praise be the Most High. You are precious. You are a blessing and a light unto the world. I'm asking you to just navigate this and try and disconnect from the internet as much as possible, or choose your content wisely. If it's not applicable, if it doesn't really inspire you, and it's just empty blabber, I don't care how positive and love and light, I don't care. If it's not applicable for you, it's literally stealing your time from you. Then again, it's not stealing if you give it for free. Archangel Gabriel, divine warrior, 3. The good news. I am by excellency the divine messenger in this case. Have faith and trust that I only bring good news in your life. I shall plant the seed of God, of the word of God, the word, you see, in your heart. So, Hashem created via what? Frequency, vibration, utterance, words. So remember your affirmation. I want, and say it out loud. Don't be afraid. Don't feel held back. Say it out loud as many times as necessary. Focus on your main wish. I want love. You may be revealed that you have it. There's so many forms of it. I want a family. Oh, maybe I do have it. And so on and so forth. And if not, you're going to be led on the path. Either way, it has to be uttered so that you hold yourself to that standard. You remind yourself of what you truly want. Intuitive nudges. Intuition is the language of the soul. We are all born aware with a profound sense of inner knowing. Intuition is one of the greatest gifts we possess, which keeps us connected to our higher selves, the universe, and to our divine spirit. Beautiful. Study. Spirit has its own special way of letting you know that it's time to study again. From time to time, it's important to go back and learn, whether that's learning old things in a new way or learning something totally new. This is an opportunity to expand your mind. Butterfly transformation and the memories that I was feeling here. Your disconnect from nature, from the feminine, and your need to reach out, especially to a wise, gentle, honest, ancient sort of an energy of a divine, sacred feminine, mother archetypal energy. You've lost faith. You've lost hope. You're drifting so far from who you are. And there are external factors that contribute to that. And they're pretty easy to individuate based on how you spend your time, where your energy or your focus is directed. There's no worse judge than yourself. Be kinder with yourself. I'm not saying as kind as Father is and has been, but at least appreciate said kindness as a reminder of how precious you are. It's a very painful stage to go through. This is extremely personal. Someone's personal reading, so even though you usually don't comment, but if you do, please keep it respectful. And for the love of the Most High, stop parroting things, repeating things, and find your own language again, please. And don't feel forced neither to say or not say or hold back, or as long as your intentions are just that of speaking truth and being yourself. Feel the 4 again, the tree of life, the lack of roots, foundations, family. And I feel you may feel generational trauma here. This is trauma that goes back to childhood. Oh wow. The roots are in the water. It started in the womb. It's the mother. It's the mother's bloodline. Wow. So, there's a tree of knowledge and the tree of life. We came down on the tree of knowledge, but knowledge is not necessarily what I'm always for learning, absolutely. But knowledge is not what grants us our return home. Life is. You need to define life. Live for it, through it. Beneficial transformation, the death of the ego here. And oh yes, it's the feminine, look. It's her, yeah. Healing of the feminine. And learning to manifest from the center, from the heart. Yes, nature in reverse, animal kingdom in reverse. Motherhood, maternal instinct, lack of love at birth. The constructive fire and beneficial affirmation, utter things into existence. And there she is, the spirits of nature. You're disconnected from them. And apparently the golden thread in between you and your other half is also very thin at this time. So, divine consciousness universe. I'm not going to go into further details. This is not a private reading and it's extremely painful because I've always tried to tell you, you know, there's a reason why you went through the things you went through. And usually they're beneficial to others that may be struggling through it. And not just spiritually, energetically, but practical wise as well. Anything you've conquered, if you have any wise advice to impart, beyond the ego, because you may say it's unrequited, or what's in it for me, or why would I even bother, or this person is not worthy, or beyond all of that. Suffering is not for nothing. So we are passed through certain challenges. And now I sit here and I see your challenges. And there's no doubt in my mind that I couldn't have seen them at this degree and connected with your spirit through this terrible trial if I didn't go through it myself. And then, of course, the ego may come and say, maybe you're biased. No, I'm not biased. I was just prepared to assist a specific group of sparks. Now, no one can do the work for you. No one can really save you or teach you or per se. But we impart, we share, regardless. So, I see who this is for. Such a challenge. Such a chore, such a challenge this channel was. It's like, I'm constantly, trying to. I have my own battle. And we all do. But I'm grateful for it. It was rather an opportunity and an honor if it helped you in any way to know that anything can be overcome. Those very things that you feel that have made you unworthy or broken, or all those regrets you have, are in actuality quite the opposite. They are the most precious gifts unto the world, imparted, manifested through the very unique divine spark spirit in this vessel, body, persona that you currently are. The Queen of Pentacles. As I said, get busy. May you be healed, sealed, guided and protected on your path. Thank you for all the kindness you have imparted. May you be rewarded tenfold. Know that you are loved. I know your journey was intense, but trust that it wasn't for nothing. You will not see it now, but you will. So, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Accept yourself. Shalom.